For many people, Monty Python is the cream of British comedy, with 2 of their 4 feature films making any funniest films of all time lists worth reading.
It's such a loose story that you can go in all sorts of directions. But at the end, you know, it is about the quest for the Grail. And so long as we can resolve the ending, then we've got something which appears to be a good, strong narrative film.
It's mainly because of that quote there, from the 6-part Python documentary The Almost Truth, that I wanted to talk about Monty Python and the Holy Grail, which for me takes 3rd place on my list of favourite Monty Python films.
I think the film that came out was typical sketch film, you know, so the good stuff is good, and the less good stuff, of which I think there's a fair amount, is rather less good, and there's no goodwill going forward from the plot, no momentum, there's no sense of what's going to happen next, so every piece has to stand on its own.
I don't want to be accused of taking anyone out of context. John Cleese was actually talking about Monty Python and the meaning of life, but the remarks about sketch movies still stand. They stand or fall by the jokes. Python's first movie, and now for something completely different, was purely a collection of their television sketches remade for the big screen. But their second movie, Monty Python and the Holy Grail, was meant to be a quote-unquote proper movie.
Because we were we were sort of library nerds, really, all of us brought up to respect reference books and all that. So we did quite a bit of reading.
And that's what happened for the next 2 or 3 rewrites, and so we have this semi-tight script with a crap ending.
And that is my problem with Holy Grail. Just as it nears the climax, it sets itself up for a massive set piece in which they will capture the Holy Grail, the whole point of the movie, and just as they're about to charge, the police turn up and close the whole production down.
Just pack that in.
You could argue that this was very much in tone with Monty Python's previous work. The Flying Circus TV show was known for throwing away punchlines in favour of stream of consciousness, though they actually used punchlines more than people recall.
Lucky I didn't tell him about the dirty knife.
But the Holy Grail was meant to be something completely different. It is set up as a movie with a plot, albeit a very loose one, and what's great about the film is the story is made from sketches, so Sir Lancelot gets a little short film and so does Sir Robin and Galahad, but it all stems from the central theme of finding the Holy Grail. And don't get me wrong, I am well aware that the ending is a joke, but disappointing the audience for comedic effect still leads to a disappointed audience.
I ended the Holy Grail because we didn't have an end for that either, and I said, well, why don't we just have the police arrest it and put their hand over the camera? My daughter hates me for that. She says, the shittiest ending of a movie ever. I hate you, Dad.
When you're watching a television sketch show, there is less investment in the characters, because they're normally only on screen for a few minutes of a half-hour running time. In Monty Python and the Holy Grail, you've been with the Knights of the Round Table for over an hour and 20 minutes when the rug is pulled out from under you, causing the bump to earth to be more significant. You know when somebody is telling you a joke and it ends up being a shaggy dog story? So there's some narrative investment there. For every minute it goes on, the more you can feel the tension build, and after a while you're thinking to yourself, this joke is going on for quite some time, the punchline is going to have to be fantastic, and then the punchline comes, or rather it doesn't, because it's an anti-joke, and it's very amusing for the person who's told it, but not for the person who's heard it. Yeah, it's a bit like that.
It's one of the virtues of having a budget, actually, because the reason we got to having the coconuts was because we couldn't afford horses. It was but as simple as that.
There was an original sketch, wasn't we had people with coconuts, and so if we keep that all the way through, and everyone has a man with coconuts, so yeah, we can save money.
Please don't interpret what I'm saying as me telling Monty Python how to write jokes. When they're at the peak of their talents, no one can rival them, but that does not mean their work is without flaw. It has been largely forgotten as their material is viewed in little bits on YouTube these days, but a lot of their TV show was hit and miss. That is the nature of sketch comedy at the best of times, and should be more expected when their format was as experimental as theirs was. The same can be said for everything Spike Milligan made, from the Goons to the Q series.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no known cure for this disease. Therefore, there can be no known ending to this sketch.
But please try and imagine this. They storm the castle and fight their way past the French soldiers, and they get to the Grail, whereupon Arthur holds it aloft and there's a divine chord. Ah! And that's when the cuffs are slapped on him and the camera is told to stop filming. Or imagine that Arthur gets the Grail and he goes to pick it up and he finds it's made of tin foil and it collapses in his hands because...
it's only a model. Shh.
Or if you're hell-bent on an anti-climax, how about all the knights finally get in and come face to face with the Grail and suddenly they're all a bit underwhelmed. Ugh, I thought it'd be better than that. Yeah, me too, yeah. Overhyped nonsense. And then you all just sort of wander off. That's just 3 ideas I had in 2 minutes of brainstorming, and I'm no comedy genius. They had 6 of the greatest comedy minds in the UK, and they go for the one ending which is worse than waking up and finding out it's all a dream. I'm not the only person who feels this way. This is a section from Screen Junkie's Honest Trailer.
And an ending so cheap, they just kinda cut to black and stop the movie. Too bad this great film ends on such a cop-out. Wait a sec. Cop-out? It's literally a cop-out ending. Even when they suck, they're still clever about it.
This is from a YouTube channel I found called Comic Pop, that normally focuses on comic book related content.
I love when, like, you hear the "did you know" about Holy Grail, where it was like, did you know that, like, they had this big elaborate scene planned for the end, and then it turned out to be this, like, mundane joke, and it was because the budget was too big, and I was like, no.
There's no way.
No, it's an anti-joke. The joke is that it ends that way. There's no effing way that the people involved with Monty Python didn't have that in the script. There's no way that they were gonna be like, oh, it'd be funnier if we had it have a narratively satisfying conclusion. There's no effing way. Show me any sketch that has like a beginning, middle, end that follows a natural structure that ends satisfactorily when it comes to story and not just humor. The point is the punchline.
Though it's beyond this YouTuber's comprehension, I can definitely imagine a situation where the production suddenly ran out of money and they had to make cuts. So on the fly they came up with the idea of this ending, and seeing that time and money were not on their side, they went with it rather than thinking over if it was the best thing for their movie.
So, talk about why in America the Holy Grail is more popular than Life of Brian.
Yes, that's very strange, because in England, there's no question they like Life of Brian better, and here it's always been Holy Grail. There was a BBC poll about 2 weeks ago, which I was rather pleased to see. They literally, I think they asked an enormous number of good, well-established critics from a lot of good countries to list the favorite movies. Number 1 is still Some Like It Hot, which is really interesting. It's a great movie. Number 4 is Groundhog Day, which is one of my favorites, and I'm seeing the musical on Sunday, which I'm really looking forward to. But we had Life of Brian at number 6 and Holy Grail at number 15, which is not bad, you know. And then further down the list, because I'm a little dubious about these polls, you know. Further down the list is a fellow called Charlie Chapman, you know.
Acknowledging that there is a flaw in a film you like doesn't take anything away from it. Monty Python and the Holy Grail is really funny, no matter your thoughts on the ending. There might even be some people watching this who love the ending. And if that's you, then I'm sure you're not alone. Take a look in the comments, you might find some like-minded commenters calling me an idiot. But the fact that you love a film, warts and all, doesn't place it above criticism, no matter who made it. I'm making a movie myself at the moment, and you are all welcome to criticise that when it comes out. And if you'd like to hurry that along, you can send me a one-time donation via this site. And be sure to click the like button if you enjoy my content. If you haven't enjoyed this one, remember, we don't have to agree on everything. I'm Scott Kingsnorth, and I'm making a movie.